They told us tickets were sold out. They told us this would be the greatest tournament in history. So why were the stadiums empty on opening day? The Estadio Azteca delivered exactly what a World Cup is supposed to feel like. 80,024 fans packed into a stadium that has hosted 2 previous finals. Noise that shook the stands. Mexico equalizing late while the entire ground roared as one. That is football. That is what FIFA promised the world for every single match. Then came the second match, South Korea against Czechia at Estadio Kron in Guadalajara. And the cameras could not hide it. Empty sections. Multiple rows of vacant seats, especially in the VIP areas, especially in the sections directly opposite the broadcast cameras. Not a handful of no-shows. Documented, sustained, visible patches of nothing, in a stadium hosting a World Cup group match on the biggest opening day in the tournament's history, because they turned football into a billionaire's plaything, and the system is collapsing in real time. Stay with this, because the empty seats are only the surface of what went wrong. The pricing story is well known by now. Between October 2025 and April 2026, FIFA raised ticket prices across more than 90 of 1-home-4 matches by an average of 34%. A final ticket appeared on FIFA's own resale exchange at over $2 million. Attorneys general in New York and New Jersey responded with formal subpoenas. And in the first week of June, after months of defending the model publicly, FIFA quietly slashed prices across all 104 matches. The bubble that ticket scalpers and FIFA's own greed had inflated finally burst, and the seats in Guadalajara were still empty anyway. But pricing is not the whole story. Because empty seats are also the direct result of who was never allowed to travel in the first place. Fans from 75 countries faced halted visa processing that made planning a trip to this tournament functionally impossible. European flight bookings to the United States are down 14% this summer, in a year when the dollar is weaker and the trip should be cheaper. Hotel bookings across American host cities are running far below expectations. FIFA quietly returned 70% of its block-booked rooms. The fans who didn't come weren't making an economic decision. They were deciding whether traveling to the United States felt safe, accessible, and worth the risk. In significant numbers, they decided it didn't. And here is the part that should disturb you more than any empty seat. It was not only fans being turned away, it was football itself. Iraq's national team arrived at Chicago's O'Hare Airport on June 5th. Their star forward, Ayman Hussein, was detained for 7 hours. Border officials questioned him extensively. His phone was examined during the process. The team's photographer, held for more than 10 hours, was denied entry altogether. Then there is Omar Artan, voted the Confederation of African Football's best referee in 2025, selected by FIFA through a rigorous 3-year merit process as one of 52 officials trusted with matches at the 2026 World Cup. He carried a diplomatic passport, a valid visa, FIFA accreditation. None of it was enough. Held for 11 hours at Miami Airport, questioned about Al-Shabaab, placed in a holding cell, sent back to Istanbul. FIFA's response: 5 words, "We are not involved." And when FIFA's president was asked directly what the organization had done about its own selected official being denied entry, he told the people asking him to chill and relax. Chill and relax. That is the sentence that now defines this tournament's entire institutional failure. While FIFA dismissed the criticism, European football moved in the opposite direction. Within hours of Artan landing back in Mogadishu, UEFA announced it had appointed him to officiate the 2026 UEFA Super Cup final in Salzburg on August 12th, making him the first African referee ever to lead a major UEFA final. UEFA's statement was precise. Football is made to connect people, and UEFA wanted to show its respect to Artan's outstanding officiating skills, which had earned him such a prestigious nomination. That phrase was a direct reference to the FIFA selection that had been taken from him. 2 governing bodies, 2 responses to the same crisis. One said chill and relax. The other said football is made to connect people. The football world noticed the difference immediately, and it has not stopped talking about it since. Now consider what happened to an entire national team. Iran qualified for this World Cup fairly through their own performances on the pitch. But the United States government refused to allow the Iranian squad to stay overnight on American soil. The solution: Iran bases itself in Tijuana, Mexico, for the entire tournament. They crossed the border into the United States to play their matches at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles and in Seattle. Then they returned to Mexico after each game. Think about what that actually requires. A World Cup team managing international border crossings as part of their match day routine. Flying between cities, managing recovery and training schedules across two countries simultaneously, all because FIFA's host country will not allow them to sleep where they compete. There is no precedent for this in World Cup history. None. This is not a logistics footnote. This is what happens when a tournament's commercial calendar takes priority over the basic dignity of the people playing in it. So look at the full picture now. FIFA projected $11 billion in revenue from this single tournament. FIFA chose the host. FIFA set the prices. FIFA built the resale platform that led a final ticket list for $2 million. FIFA selected the referee who was turned away. FIFA nominated the team that now sleeps in a different country than the one it plays in. And every single time something went wrong, FIFA's answer was the same 5 words: "We are not involved." That phrase applies equally to the empty seats in Guadalajara, to Ayman Hussein's 7 hours at O'Hare, to Omar Artan's 11 hours in a holding cell, and to an entire national team crossing an international border before and after every match they play. The fans who stayed home did not stop loving football. The players who were detained did not stop wanting to compete. The 75 countries whose citizens couldn't get visas did not stop being part of this sport's global audience. FIFA built a structure that priced out, locked out, and turned away the very people who make a World Cup worth watching, and now the cameras cannot hide the consequences anymore. Compare that to what happened in South Africa in 2010, or Russia in 2018, or Qatar in 2022. Every previous World Cup had pockets of empty seats. FIFA always had an explanation: no-show corporate ticket holders, transportation issues, unfamiliar logistics for first-time fans. Those explanations existed within the system without being caused by the system's fundamental design. What is happening in 2026 is different. The empty seats are the direct, measurable consequence of a pricing model FIFA designed and defended. Combined with a border policy FIFA claims it has no control over, but nonetheless benefits from every time a ticket goes unused and a hotel room sits vacant on someone else's balance sheet. So here is the question worth asking directly, because the historians of this tournament will be asking it for years. Are the empty stadiums and the detained officials isolated embarrassments FIFA can explain away one press release at a time? Or are they the opening chapter of the boycott that finally ends FIFA's unchecked control over the World Cup? Tell me what you think in the comments. Do you believe what happened in Guadalajara, in Miami, in Chicago, and at the Mexican border is the beginning of football's biggest institutional reckoning, or just a rough start to a tournament that will still deliver in the end? Like this video if you want the full picture instead of the highlight reel. Subscribe. We are tracking every empty seat, every detained official, and every silence from FIFA until the final whistle on July 19th. Football is never just a tournament. It is a question about who the game actually belongs to. And right now, the stadiums themselves are giving you the answer.